and welcome back to Success Behind Shadow.
My name is Ramzain Sumer. If you have been following up with my story, part 1, I talk about my childhood, and part 2, I talk about how I get into beauty pageant and modeling. And now, as promised, I'm going to tell you about my journey in the United States, how I came to the United States, the things that I'm doing. All right? So if you're just joining us, this is Success Behind Shadow. It's interesting. It's one very interesting story. So apparently, how I get the opportunity to come to the United States. Well, first of all, I told you I do international pageant, so I tend to travel to a couple places in Africa. So one day we were having a conversation. My family, they were having a I think it's time for one of us to be, travel, go to Europe or go to America or stuff like that. We having this conversation. Listen, I have met my adopted mother for over pretty much 4 to 5 years before I came to the United States. I met her during a modeling show. So her prayer is for me to have the opportunity to come to the United States. And she always tell me, you have the opportunity, you have the visa right now to come. I'm buying your ticket and you're not staying anywhere, but you're staying with me. So every time she comes to Sierra Leone, that's her prayer. Like, with this talent that you got, you do so great in the United States. So one day I was out running about with my organization project, because I'm always in the cafe looking for projects or trying to send an email and stuff like that. And interestingly, I was sitting next to a gentleman. His name was Malik. I was sitting next to a gentleman in the cafe, and then while we walk out together while we're working to go pay, and then he was like, you look like a model. And I'm like, I am. I'm like, oh, that's great. Your cheekbones, your skin color, your height, and he started describing. But well, you already know, as a female, when a man start describing, you know that they want to hit on you. That's the mentality. But I'm so grateful to God for one thing that I have in me. I don't know where I get it from. Again, is that I don't just assume that if a man telling me that I'm beautiful or complimenting me, that means they want to go to bed with me or they want to date me. Because I learned not to make so much assumption before the actual thing actually happened. And then he was like, okay, I'd like to do a photo shoot with you. I'm like, okay, listen, at that time, anybody that is interested in what I'm doing, as long as it has to do with modeling, I'm up for it. And then I grabbed my friend. I'm like, I met this guy. I took his number. I met this guy. He's here for a business and he wants to do a photo shoot with me and this and that. She came with me. We did the photo shoot in his living room. It's ridiculous. If you see those pictures, you die with laugh. Oh my goodness. Yes. And after that, we're in communication, in and out. And no, we never dated. I never dated him. He never asked me out either. Yes. He was just he keep telling me the same thing. My adopted mom keep telling me that you would do so much better if you're in the United States with, your looks and everything and blah, 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 blah. But my thing is, listen, United States is one part of the world. What is wrong in me being better in Sierra Leone? I never think about it that it's not possible for me to be successful in where I was, in my country, Sierra Leone. Things are difficult and everything, but it's possible. So my intention was never to come to the United States. I was so in love in traveling to different African countries, and I wanted to experience some European country and stuff like that, but overseas was not my forte. Because I pretty much don't get a family member that I know that reside in America, that I see myself coming to America. So I don't stress myself. I'm trying to build my own way. And so when my family started having that conversation, especially my brother, then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give it a try. So I try to go to the same internet cafe, try to do some inquiries and stuff like that. Luckily, Malik, and I still have his number. I email him, like, this is what I want to do. I want to come visit. And what are you gonna do? So my mom was trying to find a way to send me an invitation letter and stuff like that. But it was not like focused. I wasn't focused on it because I have my organization that I was running. And then I was about to start my show, Success Behind Shadows. So my manager at that time, T-Boy, he was like, you know what? It won't be bad for you to travel and come and do your show. And, that will raise more hype. Because apparently, when you're in Africa, you come to America, it's like you are the top of the world. Why? I do not know. So he was like, I don't think it would be bad for you to actually go and come, and then we can get it. So we make the arrangements. SLBC, the national TV in my country, already make the arrangement when we're going to do it. And I send letters to people that I want to interview. I have identified potential guests. Like my target was the petty traders in my country, because I realized that these are people that are working tirelessly, waking up 4 o'clock, searching for business, and they're all day and they're doing everything that they can to give their kids the best education that they did not have the opportunity to have. But yet these people are underappreciated. We look at these people that they are a waste of time. And when they are, in fact, the one contributing the most in our country. So I normally relate with those people. I eat there, I eat out in the streets, trust me. I sell in shoes outside, like helping people sell his shoes. I sell roast meat for my friend's mother. Okay, I say. I told you I was a curious one. After that, Malik has an event. So he has a couture in the United States. Like, I would love you to come fashion for, I have a show that I'm putting up. I'm like, okay. I talk with my manager. He's pretty much, he acts as my mentor too. He guided me through with every decision pretty much I was taking at that time. Even now, I still consult him anyway. Because without him, I don't know where Success Behind Shadow would have been today. I have the ability, I'm the right person and everything, but God used him to bring Success Behind Shadows to me, for me to bring Success Behind Shadows to life. So I'm grateful for him. And so Malik sent me the invitation. I apply. I go through everything. I have an interview date. I went up there. So before my interview, they have the Miss Sierra Leone. I had to train some girls and stuff like that. Lamrena, the guy I was working with, want me to do some stuff. I went for an interview. Let me tell you the amazing thing about my interview. I went there, and I was having a conversation with this woman about the competition that just passed and the lady that won the Miss Sierra Leone. Yes. So we were having a conversation. This woman was doing this stuff, and then just when we were about to finish, and I'm expecting her to introduce me where I'm going to go do my interview, and then she said, come back tomorrow for your passport. Wow. I'm like, so where is the interview? And she was like, oh, we're done. I'm like, but I have this document, and I'm like, no, you're fine, you're good. Yes. Listen, I will not take that glory, because when I say my adopted mom, I believe she didn't sleep because she was prepping me all day. Make sure you eat. You don't want your stomach to be growly when you get there. Oh my goodness. Everything. Oh my goodness. And it was amazing. That was a miracle. That's the day I actually told my mom. All the time I was going through the process, I didn't tell no one. That's the day I actually told my mom that I had a visa to go to the United States. Wow. And when I was leaving, I only left and said goodbye for a couple months, because my intention was to come to do 3-4 months and go back to my show. That was the intention. But they say man proposed, God disposed. So when I came in 2014, and July 2014, that's the same month that the Ebola take over the country. So I was here, and it was a tough, it's like a by force transition. It was a very, very tough situation, but I will tell you something. I am so grateful for my adopted mom, and she never made me for once miss the fact that I'm not with my mother or my family, because God gave me a family that loves and took care of me, despite our challenges and our differences. But it was amazing. But the greatest challenge that I was going through is the fact that I was here, and now everything that I laid planned, everything that I've laid planned is going in a shamble. And I found myself starting all over, from sitting down and starting to creep before I can even work. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm only starting to work. Like, I'm learning to work right now, but I'm trusting God, soon I'll be running. But yes, that's how I came to the United States. And I will tell you, I did the show, and then when the Ebola thing happened and stuff like that, I had the TPS. So God has just been faithful from one season to another. God has just been making way where it seems to be no way. It has been His grace all through it. But it took a long time for me to actually realize that I'm here and I can make this home. Because every plan that was making, I remember I was dealing with someone that had the difficulties with me. Every plan that I'm making, it's based on Freetown. So, he realized that I'm still in denial, that I'm actually here for the meantime. So it took time. I began to accept that I'm in America and I can build and make here home around 2017, when I actually decided to join the United States Army. So I always have the passion for service. My stepdad was a police officer, and he served all through his life. He just recently retired. Always a passion for service. And when it comes to Success Behind Shadow, I found myself that if I want to encourage people to tell their story, I want to understand. Sometimes we listen to what people are going through. We have the feeling that we understand, but we really don't. We really don't. We try to feel what they're going through, but we don't. We can't, because they are the ones that are going through their problem. And you can never put yourself in that situation, but we try to reason with them. And so I'm like, I want something more challenging. My mom wanted me to be a nurse, but I know that's one thing I learned too. You know what your weakness is. So I know that I was not made to be a nurse. Kudos and oh my goodness, hands down to all the nurses out there. You guys are amazing, but I was not made for it. So I did business administration. And my mom was concerned, like, listen, these courses you're doing, it's a waste of time. You cannot do the courses here. That's not going to give you a job. With nursing, you can have job anywhere you want, anytime, and you make money and this and that. But I have this mentality that I'm not really going to school for me to work for somebody for the rest of my life. I want to go to school to have the basics so I can build my organization and I can create a whole family where I can work with people that love what they do. You know what I mean? And while they're making money doing it. And so that's my mentality. I don't want to waste my time doing something that I know I have no interest in. Because most of the time when I try to talk to people that I want to join the military, and all I've been doing is being a model and a be the queen, they're like, they think it's one of my jokes. Because, most of my friends say I live in a fairy tale world. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Does come true. Sometimes. Well, if you believe it does come true. Not even sometimes, all the time. All you have to do is just believe. So just think that I'm in the fairy tales, but I have a strong backbone of friends, like one or two that, I can call their names here, but especially one, he was adamant about it. Okay, you want to do this? You can do this. Let's go. Let's do this. You can do this. So the more I talk to people that I want to join the military, the more I get discouraged and reason not to. So I stopped talking. And I search myself inside and I really, really asked, like, what do I want? And I realized that I want it. I want to do it. it won't hurt to try. So I went and signed up for the military. After I signed in, I told my mom and stuff like that. Even my family back home, I didn't tell them for quite some time. But it was a struggle because being a green card holder at that time, when we have a new president, you cannot go for basic training until you have your clearance. So pretty much I signed up the military, and things that something that people tell me don't do, and I give myself to serve the people of this nation, but yet still I was actually put down to sit for over a year to 2 years. Wow. Waiting for me to be shipped out for my training. And I will tell you, those are one of the difficult moments in my life in this country, beside the mudslide that happened in my country, the Ebola that I lost a lot of loved ones and family members through. But those are one depressing time in my life. I never knew what depression was until those moments in my life. But I am so grateful for my aunt. My aunt is a strong pillar in my life. My company, apparently, it's interesting because I keep asking, like, if you are like me, I have a million things that I want to do. A million things that I want to do. For a very long time, even when I start school here, I have to take career development for me to actually realize what I really want to study in school. I've been doing business administration, but yet still, everybody telling you, oh, you're not going to make much money in this. You're not going to do this. That's not a this and that. For me to actually realize that, okay, I'm not going to school for me to work for people. I really want to establish a company where, like I said, I can have people that I can work with that love what they're doing while they're making money. So I want to do a business. I used to buy and sell. That's how I put myself through college back home. I go travel to Guinea and buy things, and I have my book bag, go from office to office and sell items for me to pay my tuition fee in college. And so I'm used to that. I'm business oriented when it comes to business because I'm very people oriented. I love people. So it gives me opportunity to meet different people and different personality in life. So when I think about my company, I'm like, I have an organization, Social Action for Human Empowerment, and I have my TV show that I want to do, and I want to continue doing a Motivational Monday that I'm still doing right now, and I want to be selling something out there. Okay, I want to do this. Oh, it's just all over the place, and I realized that I can bring everything that I want to do in one and bring it onto the company. And the one thing I realized with everything that I want to do, one thing they have in common is to serve people, is to work with people, is to help people grow and develop themselves. And that's the amazing thing that I am so grateful for. Recently, I realized that I am a candidate of a life coach, and that's the direction where I'm going right now. It's amazing while I'm building my company. It's not easy. Trust me, it takes years. It's taken me years for me to come together that with the million things that I want to do, I just need to focus my attention to one. I just need to pour my energy to one. Because when you pour your energy to this one thing, it tends to draw all the other things together. So now, as I keep pouring my attention to my show and trying to build up this platform, Success Behind Shadow, as I'm pouring more attention, pouring my energy into it, and I see how my organization is falling under it. Like, okay, what can Success Behind Shadow do? What can it do? Like, as I'm talking to you, I'm collaborating with different people, my co-worker, family members, friends. Like, we're raising funds to buy school materials for 2 schools in my community in Freetown, Sierra Leone. So by God's grace, next year that we can do this distribution when I'm visiting. Yes, I am going to my country for the first time in almost 7 years. Eh! Yes, it's exciting and it's emotional. That's one thing that wakes me up from the bed every morning. I want to be remembered for the service that I offer to people, because I've come to realize that to be successful, it's not just about the material things that you have, how much money you have, or how famous you are. Is the impact that you make in people's life. And that's one key thing that I want to be remembered for, and that what gives me joy. There's nothing that gives me joy that working with people and serving people, and just knowing that I'm creating an impact in somebody's life. Oh my goodness, it's the greatest thing that happens to me, and I definitely want to be remembered that way. If anything happens to me today, which is not, I would definitely advise anyone that is starting up and having the confusion, and especially feel like you're alone or this is a waste of time. Sweetheart, those feelings popped up. Listen, I learned something. I've heard so many successful people say that if your dream, if you don't see yourself going through those struggles, those sleepless nights, and those doubtful moments, or having people not even realizing your dream, then your dream is not big enough. Because I tell you, as I'm talking to you today, it's the grace of God that I found the right people. God sent the right people to me for actually to bring this show to you. It didn't happen by magic. I've cried. I've prayed. I fasted. And it's amazing. God works in a mysterious way. Sometimes we feel like he's slow, but he did what he got to do at the right time. And that's one thing we don't know. But all I would tell anyone out there that is finding difficulty in starting up their business, or they have started their business and they keep falling, know that better days are coming. It might not be today or even tomorrow, but I promise you, they are coming. And when they come, God gonna lift you up like an eagle. Like you're gonna be flying high like an eagle. Yes, not like any birds or anything, like an eagle. You go right up the sky. And normally we say the sky is not your limit. There is difficulty, especially when you live in your dream and you have people around you. Listen, people do not have to see your vision. They do not have to understand your dream. The most important person that needs to understand your dream, understand your vision, is you. You only need you to actualize those dreams to come true. And once you have that and you believe in you, that's it. And sometimes I tell myself, for a very long time, I'll tell you the secret. I have been struggling in believing in myself. But listen, this is what I did. I have so many good people around me. Like I said, I've mentioned few, but I have so many good people around me. I can't mention all of them, but I've been so blessed with good people around me that look at me and tell me, I see you going somewhere. I believe in what you're doing. They have so much faith in me that I'll make a difference in life. So when I have those down moments, don't get it twisted. It doesn't mean that because you have God's anointing, you don't have those moments in your life. They come. That doesn't question your relationship with God. That doesn't question that you don't believe in God, because those moments come. What I do, I piggy bank from my loved one, my aunt, my mom, my best friend, from the people that, feed me with the good energy that I need to push forward. So I piggy bank from their faith in me. I use that faith so I can build up my faith and keep it going. So that's what you need. Even if it's just one person that believes in you, whenever you're down, piggy bank from their faith that they have in you. Like, I don't believe in this is gonna work, but this person believes in me, so I believe in them. It's gonna work. It will work out. It's hard, I know, but it will work hard. It will work out. So, my goodness, it's a lot with Success Behind Shadows. You're gonna get more stories like this, like people telling you all, like the good, the bad, the ugly, and all the worst thing they've been through, and how they're thriving in life, and what success actually means to them. Because this is what Success Behind Shadow is about. It's bringing us closer to each other. Most of the time, social media and everything, we see people's pictures, we hear the name, we see what video they put up, but that's the video for the surface. We don't know the video, the background, how people call it, the back scene. We don't have an idea of the back scene. Those can be the edited video. And Success Behind Shadow is going to give us the opportunity to actually see those back scene of people's life. People that we admire, people that we don't know about, that their story might be related to you one way or the other. So Success Behind Shadow is going to come from different angles and different forms and shape. Like everybody all around the world, you're going to be amazed with certain stories that you're going to hear. Listen, if I'm here to tell you all about my stories and everything I've been through, trust me, it won't take a day to tell you that. But I guess we'll write a book about it one day. But anyway, we would just give you a little bit, some of the most important things that we are facing in our life, that we want people to know that they are not alone. I know that was loaded, but it needed to be said. Listen, I am so grateful to share my story with you, and I hope my story has blessed someone out there. Well, listen, if you have not watched the full 3 part of my story, go back and check from part 1 to part 2. Part 1, I was talking about my childhood. Part 2, how I become a model, for those of you that are interested to be a model. And part 3, my journey in the United States, and so many juicy stuff, and some advice that I have for my sisters and young people out there. And that will help us that can help channel us through this journey we have in life. I am so excited. Well, now you know Ramzain, and you know a little bit about my story. So now I can tell you that you know my name and you don't know my story. Next week, I'm going to have an exciting host with me. This guest is an amazing person. He's from Nigeria, and he's a designer. I've known him for over 5 years. We met through modeling, and I cannot wait for you to hear his story. You'll be amazed. So if you haven't subscribed, do not forget to subscribe. Click the subscribe button, share this message, and let's love one another. This is Success Behind Shadow. Come and let your story inspire others.